Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to gather a cadre of writers, thinkers, and teachers who are transforming the world one character at a time. And it all starts with one thing: a deep understanding of human motivation, why people do what they do, and the forces that drive them. To gain that understanding, I am mining the intersection of psychology, theology, and philosophy to make you a better writer. Tonight's episode is courtesy of Elizabeth. Elizabeth asks, what writing catch-all software have you used, or is everything handwritten? So the title of this episode is How I Use a Zettelkasten to Track and Organize My Writing. So I want to share this with you because I use both cards and journals. Journals for me, in my world, means a yellow legal pad. My yellow legal pads are numbered, and I keep them in vinyl folders, and I file them away when they're full so that I always have access to them. I supply a page number on every page, and every entry is marked with a letter, ABC, as it goes down the page for different sections, and I include a reference with every one. And the reference is part of what I'm going to show you tonight. So I won't explain it right this second. Okay. It used to be, in the early days of my Zettelkasten, to me, a Zettelkasten was cards and cards alone. And so if I got going on a topic where I was writing on a specific topic, if it extended to more than one card, I would just keep on working as many cards as it extended to. This one was 4 cards. I don't do that anymore because it gets to be, well, why are you filing a notebook in a card box? Now what I find I do is if I'm in the process of creating a card and it becomes quite exciting and I discover that I have a fair amount to say about this entry or more things I want to pull into that entry, instead of going for card after card after card, I grab my journal and I start writing those thoughts that would have spilled over to an extra card. In this case, it runs for a few pages. I just keep on going. This one is labeled A, and the following page is called A1, A2, etc., until I have finished writing what I wanted to say. Now, the card references the journal references the card. Let's see how that's done. The card found its home in my system under the number 1M2A-3. Now, if you've been following my effortless numbering system, this you will recognize right away as being an effortless number. There's no numeric 4-digit prefix. It just goes number, letter, dash, number, letter, dash, number, letter, dash. And it's totally effortless where you get the next number and how that works. But we're not talking about card numbers tonight. The thing I want you to notice is what the card number is, 1M2A-3. And you'll notice that, and I highlighted it in black today for this talk so you can read it, 1M2A-3. It goes right in the margin to tell me that this is referenced on that card. Then, on the card, see that asterisk? That asterisk means one and only one thing in my world. That means there's something on the back side of the card. And in this case, if I turn over the card, what you'll see on the back side is way up at the top, R.D24.18A, 19A1, 22A2. Okay. R.D24, 18A, 19A1, and so on. So the journal points to the card points to the journal. So I can go back and forth. Then in the entry that I've made on the journal, I do a pretty extensive description of what is in the journal. What I want to be able to do by this is, very often when I'm pulling one of these cards, if I just read this, it tells me everything I need to know, and I don't have to run and get the journal article. However, when it comes time to actually use this in a newsletter, in a lesson, in some other form of writing that I'm doing, then this will tell me, oh yes, that's the one I'm interested in. I can get the exact words, and it can very often be my first draft. Okay. Now, continuing in that first draft mode, that's another thing that I do on my journals. Also on my journals, as I'm developing these topics, I collect links. When it's time to do a new newsletter or a new lesson of some kind that I'm teaching, I pull the relevant cards and I will create a draft of what I want to say based on the information that I've pulled from from these cards, and I will log them into an outline of what I'm creating. This was for my first newsletter that went to the printers last week, and these were all of the topics that I was covering in that newsletter. And over here in blue are all the references to the first drafts in the journal. So then from there, these are the words that I need, the references here. R.D241A, that's easy to find. It's the first page. It's right here. And it goes as far as 24C. Well, I can flip right to that as well. There's my 24, and there's C. So this now is, in this instance, these are the words that I'm going to use in my newsletter. And I compose the first draft of the newsletter on the yellow legal pads, and then I'll type it into the computer from there. I type it into Word to send to my editor so that she can solve all of my horrendous misspellings. I'm really a terrifically horrible speller. I could read right past misspelled words and not spot them. 2 weeks later, I spot them, but not the day I wrote them. I can read right past missing words. I mean, they're there in my mind. I read as though they were there. But Jill is very sweet, and she keeps me on track in that regard. Then if it's my newsletter or the book, then from there it goes into Canva, where I actually do the formatting and line everything up and combine it with diagrams to make a more coherent presentation. When it's something that I'm writing fiction, then I'll have a whole area of my Zettelkasten devoted, like this one. Oh, this is my course, my Reawaken the Dream course. All of this section is my 35 lesson course in Reawaken the Dream. So I will organize also my writing in that way. I invite you to follow Victoria Crowder. She calls herself the what is she? She's the, I won't get it right, but she has a very well-developed numbering conventions that she uses, places that she uses to gather her plot points in her story. And she and I are team teaching a writing course, and she's presenting that side of it, the story organization. I'm presenting the character development side of it. And she's got some very specific places that she puts things. So if you're wondering, well, where do I want to put something, and you don't have anything going, I would recommend, following her. And then when you listen to her lessons, you'll know exactly what she's talking about. So let me know, Elizabeth, if that answers your question. If not, I'll take another stab at it. And if you have any other questions, let me know, things that you want to have discussed. Now, I do have something that I'm working on for another viewer who wanted me to create a playlist in order, developing the Zettelkasten topics, from start to finish in a logical way, so that she could follow it along with it in a playlist. I think that's a really admirable idea, and I'm starting to do that. But I'm running into a little bit of a challenge in that YouTube so far only lets me place them in order, newest first or oldest first. And since so many of my podcasts are an answer to people's questions, they tend to bounce around as to topic. So I'm taking care of that by organizing them over in LilyPub. And LilyPub is the software that LilyPub runs on is Mighty Networks, and they have a marvelous course platform. And so I'm going to use the course platform to place all of the podcasts in logical order and grouped by theme. Is this how it's organized? Is this how the numbering works? Indexing, whatever, bib cards, so that I can put all of the podcasts in a logical sequence, irrespective of when I presented them. And it also gives me a place to continually add and post in an orderly fashion those podcast episodes. So I invite you to hop on over to lilypub.org. This isn't totally free. There's dues to keep the lights on. This is a .org. We're not officially legally yet. That's our goal. Our URL reflects our goal, which is to be only supported by member dues and to be completely nonprofit for LilyPub. LilyPub exists to serve its members. And that's one of the ways in which we want to serve them, through courses. All of our beginner courses are completely free, and all of this Zettelkasten stuff is completely free. I'm also going to take my 35-lesson Reawaken the Dream course and put it over there as well, so that if you're in that lesson, you can see where you've been and where you haven't, because that's another advantage of the course system, is you can see immediately how far you got in it, and so that you can move at your own pace. And that will also include picking up PDFs, so that if you want to do 2 lessons in a week, you can do 2. If you want to do 5 in a week, you can do 5. So you're not limited like you are right now, where each week it gets doled out to you. If you want those PDFs, you have to wait till the next week. And so LilyPub will give us more flexibility as far as that goes. So hope to see you over there, and I hope this answered your question, Elizabeth. I know you are on LilyPub because that's where you asked your question. So thank you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.